Welcome to one million. Mr. Kirby Smith, good morning. Good morning. How are you? Doing well. Thank you. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Welcome to the greenhouse. How many of you guys are here for the first time this morning? I'd like to start that off. Welcome to those of you who are new. To those of you who are not new, you know what you're in store for. You know the energy, the action, the romance that is going to occur up here. We're going to have two startups, two innovative ideas from our community up here presenting what they do, what they're building. They have 6 minutes to do that in. It will be quick, but they will give you lots of information. But if they don't give you enough information, you will have 20 minutes after that to ask questions, seek clarification, make suggestions, and make connections for the people up here so they can grow their businesses, so they can grow what they're doing, so we as a community can grow. A rising tide and all of that. We could not do this without our presenters. We could not do this without our audience. Some might say most importantly, we could not do this without our coffee. So thank you to Cal for that. We're a team of volunteers. Chris, Danielle, Jessica, not a volunteer for talking, so thank you for that, Jessica. We appreciate it. Carly, who's disappeared, actually does all the work, so we appreciate Carly. And then just a team of you guys out in the community telling your friends what a great event this is. Having talked long enough to get everybody settled down, I will now turn it over to my good friend Franco. Please, come up here and tell me how I can lobby more effectively. All right.
Good morning. Good morning. I want to start by asking a question. How many people in this room have ever contacted a lawmaker, either by email, writing a letter, by phone, to advocate about something you care about? Just about everybody, maybe about 80% of people. That's awesome. You probably were passionate about something, whether it's a community issue, maybe someone asked you to contact a lawmaker, that's great. Now, how many people received a personal response that was responsive to your issue from that lawmaker? Yeah, less than half. So, you took the time to be this guy, put your thoughts into something thoughtful, find the right person, maybe contact them. But you ended up as this guy, shouting into the void. If you're naked, I can't help you with that, but you ended up shouting into the void of lawmakers and you didn't get a response. Why is that? Probably, it's not that they're lazy, lawmakers. Getting elected is hard work, right? It's not that they don't care, they do care. The issue is that you probably contacted a lawmaker outside of your district, and maybe you sent a form letter, something that someone else had told you to send, because it was easier to do. Our firm is a public relations, communications strategy, digital, film production, jack of all trades when it comes to legislative, communications, and advocacy firm. Our clients are corporations, nonprofits, statewide associations, political campaigns, nonpartisan campaigns. One thing they all had in common, they all needed a way to effectively communicate with lawmakers, to have their members, their stakeholders, people in the community advocate for or against legislation, for or against community initiatives to lawmakers, effectively, quickly, smoothly, with a minimum of hassle, in an attractive way. So when our clients told us this, we started looking for off-the-shelf solutions. What we found is, unfortunately, a lot of them, we're all friends here, we'll be honest, a lot of them were ugly, clunky, difficult. Someone in this room told me just yesterday, a similar product they used was difficult to integrate into their existing website, offered features they didn't need. So instead of just settling, we don't like to settle. If it's not perfect, we do it again until it's right. Instead of settling for something off the shelf, we said, we're going to make it ourselves. And this is answering the question, why did we do this? I feel it's important to answer the question why before I tell you what it is. So again, our clients needed a way to communicate with lawmakers. It didn't really exist the way we wanted it to, so we spent about 1.5 years making it ourselves. This is what some of our competitors look like. Again, not to denigrate anybody, but as you can see, it's a little bit more kind of Web 1.0, and that wasn't really working for our clients. Many of whom have beautiful websites, have really flashy advocacy communications pages. So, we have a couple of rules with our product, which is called Rocket Lobby. Now I'll get into what it is. It's a platform for advocacy communications. What does that mean? Again, almost all of you have written to a lawmaker. Chances are you did it through some kind of a platform. Maybe you found their email and you just emailed them, and that's fine. But by and large, you're going to someone's website that says, send an email to so-and-so. Half of the battle of getting through the spam filter is if you are a verified constituent. What does that mean? You actually live in a lawmaker's district. Believe it or not, if you didn't get a response, it's probably because you didn't live in their district, and that's okay. Not everybody knows that. But lawmakers largely don't have to respond to you if you don't live in their district. So what we do is by putting in your address, we only give you the option to email, call, or request a meeting, or send social media messages to your verified lawmakers, saying that you are a verified constituent. That is half the battle with getting through, and I'll tell you how I know that in a second. Secondly, we don't allow foreign emails. A lot of our clients have asked us, well, can't I pre-populate a message that says support HB17 or whatever? No, we don't allow it because having worked on that side of the process, when we get a foreign email, the only appropriate response to that is to print it out and burn it in the nearest trash can. We just don't pay attention to it, so we don't allow foreign emails. It had to look beautiful. We wanted to create the Apple product of advocacy communications, and we did. I'll show you in a second. It's got to have incredible data on the back end for clients, and it does. With this product, you can visualize where your advocates are coming from, what they're saying, what kind of actions they're taking, and visualize it in such a way that you can see, hey, Tampa City is really outperforming the rest of the state. Maybe Jacksonville is doing well. Maybe Miami is lagging behind. You can visualize all of that and a lot more. And finally, it had to be easy. As I've heard, these platforms can be really difficult to integrate into your existing website. We made it as easy as embedding a YouTube video or a Facebook video. If you can do that with a short, simple piece of code, you can use Rocket Login. It starts with this. Just type in your address or hit the Locate Me button. You'll see, in this case, your member of Congress and your 2 U.S. senators. We have custom data sets. This could be your state lawmakers, this could be city council members, school board, local dock catchers. It doesn't matter. We can do it for you. You get these, and as you can see, you have options to email them, call them, request a meeting, or talk to them on social media. Again, this disappears. This is just letting you know, be quick and to the point, like I'm being told to right now, and advocate, but again, no form messages. And then finally, this is some of the data that you can see on the back end and a whole lot more. That final thing, how do we know that this works? Why did we spend the time to do this? It's because we have the data that proves it. We commissioned an annual survey ourselves of legislative aides, and we asked them, how do your bosses receive information? What matters to them when your bosses make decisions on legislation? 75% of them said replying to communications from constituents was very important, and replying to personal calls and emails was very important, 75%. So we're all done. Thank you guys very much. Sir.
So, how, if I'm a particularly well-heeled member of the public, and I would like my voice to be weighed more than some other member of the public, how would your tool help me do that?
It's a good question. So if you were a member of the public who had more money than the average Joe or Jill, how would you do that? Well, by buying the system for one thing. Look, I'll be honest. This isn't for every group or everybody. We have a setup fee of $4,000, and then it's $1,249 a month is the subscription. So it is more than some of our competitors. That's because we put the time into it to make it beautiful and really make it work in a seamless, effective way and give you more data than anybody else. So I wouldn't call the cost a barrier, but I would say if you are a well-heeled individual, you can afford it. Typically, that's why most of our clients are national unions, national organizations, corporations, statewide associations. For example, John Morgan's Medical Marijuana Group, Florida for Care, is a client. The Florida Education Association, which is the statewide teachers union. SEIU, National, the National Service Employees Union, is using this in New York. There's a certain level at which it becomes cost effective, but a single individual, it might not be for them, but certainly a collective, absolutely. To your point though, we wouldn't be drowning out individuals by using this. It would just be hopefully for the greater good.
How do you interface between national organizations that have local chapters for your business model? I mean, if the national organization says, hey, we want to work with you, you have that higher price, so their chapters fill like statewide or region-wide could also work with that national membership or subscription, however you work it, or do you want everyone to be individual clients?
That's a very good question. So the question is, if you're a national organization and you buy this product, can your local chapters also use it? So to let you know where we are in the process, we're a 6-year-old company, with 4 or 5 full-time employees. We're not looking necessarily for venture capital for this. We're looking for new business. So that's where we are in the growth phase. I would say we have national clients right now who have local chapters. That setup fee, it's kind of on a case-by-case basis. That setup fee applies. It depends on how much custom work we have to do on the back end. Again, for a client, it's as easy as embedding a YouTube video, but on our back end, there's a lot of work that's required. Again, custom data sets. So here's the example. SEIU is using this in New York right now. We had to go and get specific contact information for members of New York's congressional delegation because they wanted specific people to receive the communications. That's going to be some work on the back end, also integrating it with their existing website. So it just depends, but generally speaking, every entity pays a startup fee and then they pay the subscription fee, but it's also dependent on scale. How many chapters are you looking to have do this? Flexible.
If you were a small nonprofit, could you bundle these services with another nonprofit?
I think that's an option. In fact, that's something I'm going to be talking to some folks soon, not a nonprofit, but small for-profits, about kind of bundling together under one roof to kind of buy this product and use it together. So I think we'd be open to bundling nonprofits together, especially if they had the same message, if they were using some of the same data, if they wanted to contact, for example, most of our clients want to contact the Florida House and the Florida Senate. We have that data set, it's baked in. So I think if people wanted to bundle together, that's a certain option. Yes?
Who makes your email more beautiful than other emails?
What makes it more beautiful? That's a great question. For one thing, a lot of these services, like let me go back for 1 second. So a lot of these services you can see right here, for example, allow you recipients. This is the Massachusetts Public Health, I'm not sure, community board or something. A lot of services will allow you to blast email entire boards of commissioners or entire legislative bodies, and even if they allow you to just contact one member of your choosing, or even if they allow you to contact just your own member, they'll have pre-populated messages in there. Now this one doesn't, but you can see there's already a subject line in here. If I'm a legislative aide, or if I'm a lawmaker reading my own email, and I get 50 emails that all say, please support HR 111, and if generally they all say the same thing, I'm not reading them. Because I don't know where they're from, are these people in my district? Sometimes people will take the time to forward it as a courtesy to the appropriate lawmaker, but usually not. So the platform is more beautiful for the end user, and the dashboard that you see, which I don't have up here right now, but anyone who wants to take a look at this can contact us for a demo, and we can show you the dashboard of information you see on the back end. The dashboard is beautiful on the back end, just as pretty as the front end user interface. The visualizations of what you can see in the data is beautiful, but the email is effective. It says this is a communication from a verified constituent, and then the person has to write it in their own words. That has an exponentially higher chance of getting read.
But it doesn't look any different than a regular email, it's just the content.
No, and actually that's a good question too. No, it doesn't look any different. We would never put a graphic in an email because those have a much higher chance of getting flagged by spam filters. Even we send a lot of press releases to our clients. We almost never put graphics in a press release because spam filters catch most of that. So, but good question. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Is a big part of your value added the database of contacts, let's see, assets that you're offering your clients, or where is your primary value added for an organization that wants to get this?
Sure. So the value, where is the value added to this product? Because there are other, like I said, there are other products. The chief competitors to this are called Voter Voice and Engage by CQ Roll Call, which many of you might know is a legislative newspaper up in Washington, D.C. And they've been around a lot longer, and they've been doing this a lot longer, and that's fine. What we found is that it wasn't attractive, it was clunky, it was ugly, it had too many features. We've been told that a lot of these products do things we didn't need them to do. For example, some of these have what's called fly-in managers. If you have an association and you take them up to Tallahassee or Washington, It will manage that process for you. It will send newsletters. A lot of our clients didn't need that. They needed a simple, clean, efficient, attractive way to have their people contact lawmakers, and that's it. So that's what we created. We don't necessarily, you're not given the database as a client. You have access to it and you can use it, but it's not. You're not purchasing the database. You don't get like a spreadsheet of the contacts. But I will say we have hand-built every data set, and we go through it consistently to make sure that the right people are receiving the messages.
So you're not interested in trying to monitor somebody who's, in terms of committee who's taking on a bill that your client is, prospective client might be interested in communicating to him about, you're not having your feedback value.
So that's a good question. So we're not lobbyists. A lot of our clients are lobbyists, and we interface a lot with lobbyists. But we're not. So I would kind of view that as if you're monitoring what they're doing, that kind of toes the line towards lobbying a little bit. Lobbyists buy this product, as do their clients, which are associations and corporations and campaigns. So no, typically what happens is someone would say, oh man, they're going to vote on this bill. We need it to pass, or we've got to kill it. They would implement this product.
Well, would it be lobbying if you just provide the information that comes to the committee is talking about the information and provide that to your client?
Sure. So what you're asking is legislative tracking. Why isn't that a service that we offer? No one's asked us to yet. You're the first one. So that's good. And we can talk about it. If you're interested in buying it, you can ask. You can link that. Checks and cards accepted. No, it's just that most of our clients, again, a lot of our clients are lobbyists, or they're big firms and corporations that already have that capability of tracking legislation. It's not something we've been asked to add, but it is something that some other competitors do have. How effective is it? I don't know. For example, I know Voter Voice has legislative tracking ability, and it's just not something we've chosen to offer.
So you started with surveying legislative aides and legislators. Have you thought about flipping the product around and allowing them to get the aggregate so that they don't have to chase these individual emails that come in hundreds at a time?
I'm not sure I understand.
So if I'm a legislative aide, can I have access to Rocket Lobby and see everybody who has emailed my legislator? I could compile a report maybe and say, hey, from this district or this part of the district, you're getting a lot of information, on this specific item.
This, you know what? That's a really good question. It's not something we thought of doing. So the question is, can you flip it around so that legislative aides who are responsible for compiling, hey, how does my district feel about this bill? How many yeses and nos? And again, if you're a little jaded, kind of like we are sometimes, and you think that they don't care, we know lawmakers. Here's an example. I'll call him out. Jack LaValle, okay? Kind of a powerful guy, Senate Appropriations Chair, potential future governor. He actually, his legislative aides will provide him a rundown of how many for and against the bill before he goes to the floor to vote on it. Okay? So they do care. We haven't thought about flipping it around necessarily so that aides can see the data, because we assume if they get an email from a real constituent that's not a form letter that says to support or oppose something, they're going to have their own process. Every legislative office has their own process for tracking it. Look, some don't care and they don't track it at all, which is fine. Most do, and we assume they have their own process for that. But that's an interesting point. To maybe add a way to do a quick report that lobbyists or who our clients can provide to offices. That's a very good idea. Yes?
Hi, great presentation. Just want to give a little feedback, though. In the first minute, I thought that you were one of the hundreds and hundreds of sites that help citizens identify who their local representative is, email them. Everybody in a hackathon builds one of those tools. So, I think the weakness in it was the first couple minutes. Like, okay, great, another way to contact your constituent, but your customer is really, hey, we sell a product to organizations that are trying to, that want their constituents to lobby it. This is how we're different. We're not one of those tools. We're actually one of these tools. I think if that, because it took me to the end of the presentation to kind of get that, and I think that would benefit you more and keep people tuned in.
That's a very good point, and I thought about that last night as I was putting this together. I guess I put this together before your TED last night. Full disclosure, I have a 2-year-old, good point, and I thought about that because I'm asking these fine folks, how many of you have contacted a lawmaker, when in reality the question is, how many lobbyists, corporations, unions, associations have employed an advocacy communications tool? That's the actual question. So you're absolutely right. I'll rejigger it for the future. Yes, sir?
What is to prevent somebody from, living in New Jersey, putting in a fake address here to pretend I'm the constituent of
They're
Trump?
conscious.
But there are no tools that are using. I mean,
Well-
is there a way, or would a legislator value somebody putting in like their voter registration number or something like that just takes it to a much more authenticated voice, or is it just a numbers game anyway?
No, so that's a good point. Basically, what prevents someone from gaming the system and putting in a fake address if they live somewhere else? To me, it's a little bit like voter fraud. You hear a lot of the time these charges of massive, widespread voter fraud being thrown around. Who's going to really take the time to risk a felony to actually commit voter fraud?
Presumably, this isn't a felony.
No. But I'm saying in that case, who's going to take the time to do that is a little bit like this. The only exception I would think is if you're a snowbird. Clearly, I have a lot of seasonal residents. Are you a seasonal resident, or you have a question?
No, I just have a question.
Okay. Everyone knows seasonal residents, so there's a chance that someone could put in where they live here, 4 or 5 months out of the year. They're still a resident; they probably still pay taxes. So, again, the system allows you to put in your address or click locate me, and that will geolocate you based on your IP address. The other thing is too, that's a good point, and I just realized this. Our data on the back end. Let me see if I have it here. No, it doesn't. Right down here, you can't see it, shows information about the advocate. You can click on someone, and it'll tell you kind of everything about them. Now, I know this sounds like scary big data, but it will tell you their name, their address, their IP address. So that's a way to tell kind of where they're coming from. You can trace its IP address. It tells you what action they took. It tells you the content of their email. And just so you know, we're not reading anyone's emails. We don't have an interest in that. But our clients do want to know what communications are being had, so they can follow up with their advocates.
Well, I've seen some research which demonstrates, or claims at least, that phone calls are more effective than emails and non-form, actually hard copy letters or so on. The indivisible roles certainly found that to be the improvement. I think I saw one of the early slides, you also have a call problem. How does that work?
Great question. So, and you are absolutely right. So again, we do this annual legislative survey of aides in Florida, and we're thinking about expanding it beyond Florida too. To a T, they say the number one most effective thing that you can do to advocate is go visit your lawmaker. Now, that's not always possible. I mean, they do have district offices here, but for example, if there's a bill that's moving that you really feel passionately about, or you really want to try to build, they're up in Tallahassee right now, so you've got to trek, 4 or 5 hours up there, go track them down in their office. They're usually not there, they're on the floor, they're in meetings. Anyway, long story short, going and meeting with them is number one. Calling is number two, followed then by written letters and followed by emails and so on. So yes, we do have an option. Emailing them is obvious. Requesting the meeting sends an email saying I'd like to sit down with that member. Calling, we give you the phone number, but to do that, you've got to put in your name, your email. You've got to put in some of the same basic information, name, email, and address, so that we can verify that you're a constituent, and then we give you the phone number. Typically to the district office, because that's the place that we found to be more responsive to concerns. For example, on our federal database of every member of Congress, House and Senate, I've personally put in district offices because I think and the main district office because it's more responsive. The email addresses I've put in there have been for like the district chief of staff or the director of constituent services. Why? Because those are people whose job it is to listen to you. But yes, calling. If you call lawmaker, you should. Sorry.
How adaptable is it for mobile platforms?
Great question. We also build websites. We build everything kind of mobile first. We test everything to be mobile responsive, kind of above all. So if you go to rocketlobby.com, or if you go to any of our websites that employ Rocket Lobby, I can give you what some of them are, you'll see they're beautiful on mobile, because we kind of build with mobile first, because no surprise to anybody, mobile, accessing the internet by a mobile device is where it's at. It's not in the future, it's now. So it's very mobile responsive. For a number of different platforms too, almost any mobile device, the these sites Rocket Lobby will scale for. Now it's important to note, we do build websites, but a lot of the time, again, this is a plug-in on someone else's website. So if the website looks crappy on mobile, that's not our fault. It's because someone didn't build a website to be mobile responsive. But Rocket Lobby should always look beautiful in mobile. This is what you see right here. Yes, sir.
I'm following on to Chris's question, but a different spin on it. When you did start your presentation, I thought your product was more directed towards individual citizens contacting their legislators, and that piqued my interest because there are issues that I feel strongly about that I'd like to, and you have to look for a phone number, an email. If it takes too much work, you may forget about it. But creating an app that makes that easy for individuals, irrespective of a lobbying group or an advocacy group, have you thought about making it available to individuals just to contact, to make that communication with their legislator easy?
That's a very good point. We have had Chris, is it Chris? Okay. Yes, as Chris mentioned, we have had a free version in the past. They still make it available. It's just the demand right now. Again, we put a year and a half into building this product. Our focus right now is on selling it to groups that we know need it. By the way, that's why I'm here today, not just because Sean asked me to come and talk about it, and thank you, my friend. But that's where we are in this process right now, is looking for new business, looking for folks who...
We'll get to a question about what you think.
Okay, all right, I'm not jumping on that, thank you. So walking that back. We have had a free version. We may do it again, but our focus right now is on growing the business aspect of it. Yes?
So would you be able to also include emails or phone calls to key individuals and legislators that are not in that person's
Right, in their district.
Yeah.
Great question. No.
Because okay.
No, and I don't need to be rude on it. No, that's a very common question that we get is why can't I contact the committee chair, right, or the committee vice chair, or the ranking member? And it makes total sense. Look, in the legislative process, the people who decide if something goes through or not are, people in House or Senate leadership, committee chairs, and so on. They're the ones who decide if bills get on agendas, if they get heard, and that's a very valid question. We have found, though, in our studies and our data, what we've been told by lawmakers and by their aides is that if an email from a citizen comes in and it's not from the district, we're just not reading it. So that's why our rule number one is, rule number two is no form emails, but rule number one is it's got to come from a verified constituent. So at this point, again, we've been asked that by a lot of clients. And in fact, we did it, we explored doing it once before, and it just didn't fit with our ethos that they need to be real verified constituents contacting these people to have the greatest chance of getting through. So, yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I do have to interrupt. I got to steal this question.
Okay.
Franco, how can we, as an audience, help you build your business?
Very generous of you, Sean. Thanks for asking. So again, we are currently in the phase of looking for more people to buy this product, right? You probably hear that week in, week out. Hey, do you know anyone who can buy our product? But the reality is, again, statewide associations, again, like Florida Education Association, unions, corporations, nonprofits even, or collectives of nonprofits, as I think you mentioned. We're looking for people who really care about smart, well-designed advocacy programs. Maybe they already have an advocacy program that they're looking to integrate a really good communications platform into. We spent a long time building what we feel is the Apple of advocacy communications. We looked at the competition and we said this is just not going to work for our clients. We believe we give our clients the best. And so that's what we feel we've done, is we've built the best. So if you know anyone who needs this kind of robust advocacy communications platform, let me know.